The importance of obedience to parents comes with lots of benefits to you and the society in general. It also defines the state of being loyal as well, following whatever you are told to do by your elders. This will also help you deal with bad events whenever you experience difficulties, problems, and issues which take their toll on you, since the best advice comes from the elders that you are loyal to. What is obedience? Obedience refers to a moral duty performed by someone who is willing to comply with the rules and orders of those in authority, or a person who is responsible for taking care of something. It also helps you gain happiness and live a better life, because whatever you are advised by your elders is really important for your future and survival. Obey your parents in the Lord meaning? If we really follow the Bible, we'll notice the 10 Commandments which were created by Moses in the book of Exodus, and if we examine the first 4 commandments, we learn that they are based on God's orders. For example, the first commandment states that we should worship no other God but me, tells us or refuses us to worship any other idol, because he is the main one who created us in his being and also created the world. However, the 5th commandment, which clearly states that we should honor our father and mother, is the first commandment with a promise that continues, so that you may live long in the land that God has given us. This phrase encourages us to stop the behavior of disobedience, because if we dishonor our parents, then they will punish us for doing what is wrong and not permit us to enjoy our needs in life. Children should honor their parents so that they receive what they desire to have and be protected against deadly circumstances in life. By choosing to honor our parents, we also demonstrate that we are loving them and showing care for them. This also means that we are glorifying God and appreciating his commands and orders. As long as we just decide to follow God's orders and obey him, the Lord will be pleased and will open a gate to joy and happiness for us. The Lord will also bless us and make our life prosperous in future if we proceed with the habit of obedience. Obedience also helps build a relationship with the Lord, because by trusting in his words, we avoid the wrongdoings and build a better life, which in turn helps to connect with the Lord so that he gives us his interesting and meaningful lessons to provide our needs and live longer with no obstacles. God really loves us as his children, so if we aren't exercising the 5th commandment, we are assuming that we have no clue about what he is teaching us. God even created us in his image, so you can imagine if we do very wrong things even after we are given his orders and we refuse them. This destroys our relationship with him and causes unexpected occurrences throughout our lives. Obedience can really be something that numerous people do not want to obtain and practice, because it may feel unnecessary for them and also exhausting, especially for small children who aren't used to doing useful things. However, parents still have to advise their children about the importance of obedience and make it a routine so that they don't suffer later when they were grown-ups. What does the Bible say about obeying your parents? In the Bible, it states in the book of Ephesians chapter 6 verses 1 to 4 that children should obey their parents, for this is considered to be right. It also mentions the 5th commandment, which quotes, "Honor your father and mother so that you may live long in the land that God has given you." This great commandment is also very vital not only to children but also adults, because they too have parents who advise them. Another good reason why this commandment is important is that it comes with a promise. In fact, it is the first commandment with a promise which states, "So that it may go well for you and that you enjoy a long life on the earth." So if we change our mind into what is not considered and commanded by God, then we might suffer and not enjoy life in a good standard. By honoring your father and mother, life for you will be simple and pleasant to you. By this virtue, you will have gained a lot of joy, because God will give you blessings due to making that decision of obeying your parents as well as also honoring God. The scripture also highlights that cursed is anyone who disobeys their parents in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 27 hours 16 minutes. This warns us that if we disagree to honor or respect our parents, our friends or relatives may talk negatively about how we behave due to the mistake that had been caused by us, and our parents may as well curse us by refusing to offer what we want and saying something bad about our actions. Importance of obedience to parents. Our parents are really important to us, that we really need to appreciate their efforts and that show them gratitude so that we receive more from them in return. Also, we as children should obey our parents because they have sacrificed their lives to protect us since we became new to the world. We should also respect our parents' reason being that they have provided us with great necessities such as food, clothing, and shelter. Our parents also love us dearly and even sacrifice their time to talk with us whenever we experience problems or anything that disturbs our minds. If we refuse to show our love and respect for them, then they won't accept what we want or what we love doing. Just by also showing obedience to our loving parents, life will be smooth and magical. Again, we should show admiration to our parents for giving us helpful and meaningful advice to follow in life. Some people may see this otherwise unnecessary and that it doesn't change their life completely. However, children shouldn't have negative opinions and should really follow their parents' advice since they are more experienced and know a lot better than us. Even if you assume that the information you are giving them back is new to them, it is still important and likewise that they need to be respected no matter what they tell you to do or stop because they are there to protect you and not to harm you. We are also supposed to obey our parents in the Lord because it is a part of Christian discipleship. If we do not obey and do our parents' orders, it means that we cannot be faithful disciples or we cannot believe in what the Lord is telling us to do, so we reject His will. It is also said that we should obey our parents for this is right. It is important for us to obey our parents because it is considered the correct thing to do and that is how it is designed to work. In other words, if we do not obey our parents, then we are doing the wrong thing. Types of obedience. We should also consider the types of obedience. These types are very important because it lets people get to have more knowledge about it and also compare them so that they can help to acquire the right type of obedience they need to have. Therefore, here are some of the types of obedience which a lot of people ought to have and maintain for good purposes and for their benefit. Complete, willing obedience. This type of obedience responds to God's commands regardless of the demands. You can also say that it involves making a free decision to obey God without refusing to regret and that you should accept or respond to His commands with a heart of love, joy, and gratitude. Forced and reluctant obedience. This kind of obedience refers to that where an individual must be prodded, rebuked and remembered to do God's will. A particular individual does not also have the spirit of eagerness or readiness to obey God's commands. Those people are given commands but they feel like that's nothing important and so they were compelled to complete what they've been told to do. The obedience, however, is done with a heart of hatred and poorness. Easy obedience. This type of obedience involves doing the easy commands and rejecting commands which may be hard or difficult for you. Many people can use this type of obedience if they feel that the command they've been given is not comfortable and conducive to them as well as those which they might refuse to accept. This type of obedience makes people's life easier and avoid rejecting important people who care for us such as our parents or teachers who placed in authority by God to ensure that they implant the importance of obedience in us. My will obedience. My will obedience involves an individual obeying God as long as God's will conform or complies with that person's desire, wants and also opinions. This type of obedience also means that a person makes his or her own decision to do difficult commands or easy commands. They may choose one of them because they are motivated to finish them and find an easy time to do other things. If people do their will, then they don't do Lord's will, which means that they dishonor Him, and so we should all consider doing God's will because they were better than ours and helpful to us. Do adults have to obey their parents? As adults, you have the right to make your own decisions based on what God is telling you to do. Adults as well may also have made those determinations without having to get advice from parents, relatives, and friends. But even still, adults have to obey their parents because they were older than them and experienced too. There may be even times where there is a conflict between culture and Christianity. This is when the parents' traditions do not meet with the needs of the Christ-honoring child. Cultures, traditions, values and rituals are really vital in our society, but when we consider them or rely more on them than our loving and grateful God, then we are rejecting His creation and love for us. For adults, making good and better decisions shows their parents that they are mature Christians who believe and trust in the Lord. Adults' parents, however, Have the right or opportunity to tell them the right and the wrong thing to do. In case the adult is not sure of his, her parents' advice, they can talk to each other and have a discussion so that they agree on one option. They can also tell their parents what they are planning, anticipating in what they feel disturbs them, like when there is conflict or disagreement. Adults can as well tell them how wise and vital their guidance and teaching is helpful to their needs. If what they are telling appears right to them and not right to you, then you should not bother yourself because you are not them. This is why you can talk to your parents and discuss fairly what you think should be done and acted immediately before it is too late. Even if you still feel as an adult that you do not want to honor your parents but to honor God your Father who will lead you. If your parents still do not yield in your opinions or beliefs and feel you should listen to them first over what you feel God is telling you to do, it will be a tough decision that may affect your relationships with parents. If they really love you like their gift, they will have to trust you, pray for you and make suggestions, then allow you to live for your life ultimately. As long as we honor God, He will be respectful to us just in the same way we should honor our parents, because that's the way nature demands from us. 10 reasons why we should honor our parents. Obeying our parents is really important on our daily lives because it makes us happier and it also makes our parents glad. Here are some 10 reasons we need to honor our parents and apply them in our day-to-day life. 1. Honoring our parents honors God. As children, we need to respect our parents and show them that you are good-mannered so that they also help us what we demand. If we honor our parents, we also honor and obey God. This should be considered rightful because He created us in His image, and so if we do not obey Him, He will not be happy. Just like if we hate respecting our parents, they get worried and even annoyed. Some of us may feel that it is unnecessary to do what we are told by our elders because it may be boring and tiring. Even if you don't feel like, just keep remembering that it makes God pleased and grateful. If we acknowledge God as a really great being, that He has done everything good to make us live every day, then we should thank Him and appreciate what He's created and done in the world. Just think of helping your parents in the house, like assisting to clean the house or wash dishes. It makes you feel happy because you look at what you've done and realize that this is an improvement, so it motivates you to do more. This will make our parents feel happier for the better and that we are serving and glorifying God. 2. We should honor our parents, they deserve it. Some of us may agree not to obey our parents because they claim that they did not raise them properly due to how they might have had difficulties in life, such as going out to the club to spend time with your friends and get drunk at the end of that. You have to pay someone debts but you don't have enough money or time. As their children grow up gradually, they find a hard time doing what they are asked or ordered to accomplish due to their experiences of having careless parents. Even though, we still need to show our parents love and respect, and later it might teach them how good we are and that they may change their lives and also respect us. Even God still tells us in the Bible that we should honor our parents so that we live long in the land He has promised us. Showing our parents love and respect will also make them love us more, and so because they deserve it. 3. Honoring our parents leads to blessing. If we pay close attention or go deeper into comprehending the command that we should honor our father and mother, you notice that it doesn't come just as it's written, but it is also linked to a very special promise which says that we should indeed honor our parents, so that we may live long in the land He's given to us. In this case, God says that honoring our parents will result in the blessing of long life and that all may go well in life. 4. Honoring your parents makes your life good. In the book of Ephesians 6:2, the phrase which states that we should honor our father and mother as a commandment is also the first commandment with a promise which concludes, so that it may go well for you and that you enjoy long life on the earth. If we choose to obey God by respecting our parents, then it promises to enrich our life not only to us but our parents too. 5. If we honor our parents, God will hear and give attention to their prayers for you. If a father's child is respectful and honoring, then God will perceive his prayers. The Bible also records when Isaac prayed to the Lord on behalf of his wife Rebekah because she didn't have a child, and so God heard and responded to his prayers and blessed him with twins. 6. Honor them because your words about them matter to God. Children may find it hard not to share about one of their parents' identity, especially when they have done something wrong or weird. They may even spread the information that is not true to a large crowd so that everyone knows of what their parents have done. The scripture records of how Noah got drunk and passed out naked in his tent, and when his youngest son witnessed his actions, he spread the news to his elder brothers Shem and Japheth. Even despite Ham's actions, Shem and Japheth took great efforts to cover Noah and make him feel better. When Noah learned of Ham's actions, he cursed him because of how rude his behavior was. Genesis 9:22-24. In today's life, uttering about a father's identity to some people may sound a small thing to worry and think about, but the scripture warns us that cursed is anyone who dishonors their father or mother. Therefore, we have to remember that whatever we say about our parents matters to God. 7. Honor them because God gave them a place of authority. The scripture records in Romans 13:1 that the authorities have been established by God to mean that they are set for a more permanent. Because God has placed our fathers in authority, it is right for us to respect them because they are more experienced and knowledgeable than us, and because He has set permanent the authority He has given to our fathers. He decides where honor should be due. Even if our fathers managed their authority whether godly or ungodly, it doesn't matter that he should deserve it or not, but that you should obey God who gave him the authority. 8. Honor them because it pleases the Lord. Obeying our parents pleases God because it shows them that we love and respect our parents as well as God Himself. It also means that we receive blessings from God and that He opens us a gate to success and joyfulness. If we did the opposite way and took life for granted, misleading ourselves, then we would not be treated well by the Lord. 9. Honor them so that you may live long in the land that God has given to us. In the Bible, it records the fifth commandment, which comes with a promise, and it is also considered the first one with a promise that you may live long in the land. This is a great message to all the children that should be well comprehended and applied in their life. It is a simple fact: if we do not obey your parents, or if we don't accept their advice and orders, we will suffer in life as adults and not have more joy. 10. Honor them so that it may go well with you. Simply, by obeying our dear parents, we'll get what we want in life and enjoy it for a longer time. We will also be successful in life because we will have gained something important and meaningful that we can use every day and even protect us from dangerous situations. Our parents are always there to teach us, protect us and provide for us, so we should really trust and show them a lot of gratitude and respect so that all may go well with you in life. Importance of obedience in the school. At school, pupils and students are taught how to be obedient and respectful to their teachers and other individuals. Teachers, as well as parents, give them advice on how to stop behaviors which may not be tolerated and accepted, such bullying, fighting, cheating in examinations, and refusing to do the teacher's assignment. By instilling obedience in children at school, success improves and the school's image also improves in terms of discipline and hard work. Some of the reasons why students at school should maintain obedience include: 1. For personal safety. At school, students are given rules which they should follow and obey for their safety. These rules are designed to ensure that the child does not get into contact with danger or avoid small disturbances which occur every day, such as students being idle in class and throwing papers at each other. When the student obeys these rules, they show or illustrate that they already know the rules, and so it helps them protect themselves from danger and troubles. In other words, they show that they were aware of the rules and practice them as long as they don't get into harm's way. Taking the rules for granted may lead to dangerous consequences and even make the school administration liable to the damage done. For students to be safe, they have to obey the rules and ensure that they are not just there to be looked at, they are there to protect them. 2. Respect for authority. Obedience to school rules shows that you understand the importance of rules and that you trust the decisions of the governing authority. At school, we are contacted with many rules, but also in daily life, such as when people are at work and are given rules and restrictions to protect them. However, if we as good students demonstrate the act of obedience to the authority, then it shows that we care for them because they are there to protect us.